Hello, Steve. Welcome here.
Thank you.
Okay, so why would you start by telling me more about your internship?
Actually, should I keep it? Okay. Actually, last summer I was fortunate enough to do an internship at Red Hat for 12 weeks. And I worked as a software engineer intern with the Ansible team at Red Hat. Basically, Ansible itself is a project, it's an open source project that has been delivered to configure systems, deploy software, and orchestrate advanced workflows. Basically, it means that a company who wants to automate certain tasks can use Ansible to do so. Now, Red Hat itself has developed a product based on Ansible, which is Ansible Automation Platform. And during the 12-week, I worked halfway through with the UI team in which I developed components and design and maintenance of existing codes as well as designing testing for these components. Whereas in the second half of my internship, I spent some time with the backend team in which I designed some API performance testing, which was very useful when it comes to evaluating the performance of our website. So along the internship, I get to use a set of technologies related to backend. For example, we have Python, Django. For front end, I use Cypress for UI testing, as well as React and TypeScript. And when it comes to the workflow, normally we use GitHub, Git, as well as Jira for project management. Now, my internship was fully remote, which means that I had to capitalize on the Google Workspace as well as tools such as Slack to reach out to connections, reach out to software engineers whenever that was necessary. So I spent 12 amazing weeks at Red Hat. That was an amazing experience. I learned a lot from that, and I hope that anybody from Berea who got that opportunity enjoy it at the fullest.
Nice. That sounds great, Steve. So, can you tell me what the most important technical thing that you learned was from the internship?
From all these languages and technologies, I would say that I didn't really know about React. And React is a library that is used in the UI systems to build components. Now, the thing is, I never interacted with React before, so I had to learn React basically when I get there. And from that learning, I get to see what the power of such a library is, why such a library is being used by so many companies for building web application UI systems. So I think that I'm very grateful by that opportunity to learn React. So far that I have an existing project that I'm working on and it's completely using React.
That's so good to hear. Yeah, React is really good. So, what about non-technical things?
It is said that software engineers most of the time deal with technical things like we write codes, we find bugs and so forth. But there is a non-technical component of it that is very important, which is communication. Now, when I say communication, I'm talking about finding a way to convey your ideas in the most proper way to your fellows. It includes software engineers. It includes conversation with people from the executive team or discussion with interns from the business department, for example. Now, I think that from my summer internship as well, I personally get to work on my communication skills because I realized that depending on the person I'm talking to, depending on my audience, I had to be aware of the words and the terms that I'm using so that we're spending a great time. So I believe that communication in itself was one of the best perspectives I had from a non-technical standpoint in my internship.
Thank you, Steve. It seems like you worked on a lot of great things this summer. Can you tell me one thing that you were the most proud of among all the things that you've done?
All right. So, as I said, I spent 6 weeks working with the backend team, and I remember that we had that issue in which you had to implement API performance testing, and it was an issue on our Jira dashboard. So, and as an intern, normally they would be a little bit hesitant to put you on certain issues given your status. But I picked up that issue because I believe that I have the skills for it. I was very confident at this point. So it took me 3 weeks to fully implement the testing that they were expecting from me. But I'm really grateful for that because it has led me into learning about new libraries of Python, which is my favorite language. But on top of that, I get to collaborate with software engineers as well into delivering a solution.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, one last question. What was your biggest challenge during your internship overall?
I'll be honest, working remotely is very flexible, but there is a set of challenges that come with it. And I think that discipline at this point was the thing I challenged with the most. Because I would say that normally if I was on site, okay, I would have a schedule in which, okay, I'm waking up at 6 a.m., getting ready, go outside and get to the site. But working remotely means that technically if my work starts at 8, I can wake up at 7:45 or something like this. So I struggled a little bit with discipline in the beginning because given the fact that I was moving out from cities to cities, I didn't get adjusted in the proper time. But in the end, what was the most important is I get to learn, I get to be aware of that and set myself into building a schedule that will boost my productivity at my internship.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, thank you, Steve. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tojo. Thank you, everyone.